Hello. Shifting. Some disciples of the sweet science coined it a lost art up until the undefeated Triple G would unpredictably break orthodox form and use it to cover distance, increase power versus a retreating opponent. Its lack of utilization, though, it does make sense. Bruce Lee. Absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, add what is essentially your own. Simply put, for some, it is not useful, it is not their own, not a technique or philosophy congruent with their styles. Overall, many are minimalists who dedicate themselves to refining only the most effective tools. Others, not so much. Thus, we find shifting for some is an excess which may hurt their overall efficiency. Others, they thrive, Gennady Golovkin being an example, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to the art of shifting, there is much more to it than just covering distance. Mike Tyson was known for his devastating onslaught of hooks and uppercuts, smashing his often larger opponents into oblivion with a capacity for head movement rare amongst his fellow heavyweights. But he was much more than just an onslaught of hooks and head movement. The more subtle details could be found in his footwork. Here, Mike Tyson extends his jab, which triggers his opponent to duck possible threat from his backhand, and as the man in purple trunks weaves to the other side, notice how Mike just observes collecting data. He isn't comfortable in position to deal power. Now, the Diamato shift, switching from orthodox to southpaw to attain a superior angle. With his opponent looking down in guard, Tyson momentarily left his field of vision. Opponent extends his arm to gauge where Tyson went, and fortunately for him though, that gave Tyson the perfect window for his now loaded uppercut. Boom. As our Mike's hips rotate into skull, the only thing available to brace for the shock was the ropes behind.
The story you are about to hear is true.
TJ had to deal with a lot of drama throughout his career, and his capacity to still remain playful, light, and fun-oriented in such a ruthless arena is testament to his mental strength. Regardless of what any of us feel towards him, it still remains true that his brilliant coach, Dwayne Ludwig, has turned TJ into a marvel amongst fellow martial artists. Here, we'll focus on TJ's stance shift, which perhaps was influenced by Vasyl Lomachenko, a fighter TJ has trained with. This is a testament to the kind of ambition he carries. He is a true student to the game, constantly looking to level up. Armed with lead dominant southpaw philosophy, observe how he is currently standing in southpaw now. As he follows through with this kick here, TJ knows one thing for certain. Cody is a counterpuncher who constantly looks to unload his right hook. To avoid this technique, TJ leaning back also follows to his right, away from the power hand, which further creates distance. Notice how he achieved this angle. He has moved back to orthodox. This is the lost art of shifting. In orthodox, TJ feints his backhand, which Cody sees quite lucidly. What he does not see though is TJ shifting to southpaw, taking the outside foot. TJ now has the superior angle, neutralizing much from Cody's backhand. Meanwhile, TJ's now new backhand has the superior line of attack. Now here, the master of positioning himself, the fleet footwork magician Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko's father pulled him out of boxing as a child to have him focus on Ukrainian dance. Dance is why Lomachenko is so nimble, so next level in his movement. He's able to stand right in front of you, then in the flash of a moment, vanish by taking an extreme angle. One where you are not positioned to strike at all, left helpless to his own shot. That is the purpose of taking an angle.
Only the names have been changed.
The overarching philosophy can be seen vertically in Sun Tzu's Art of War. Military leaders are advised to take high ground and let the enemy attack from a lower position. Simply put, the purpose of an angle is to attain a position where they are less oriented to strike comfortably whilst you are. Vasyly's footwork often grants him such an extreme angle that his opponents are not just uncomfortable, they have no position to strike at all. Here, Vasyly pops his jab, and notice how he throws his cross. Look at where Vasyly is looking though, it's not at his opponent's face. Lomachenko, he predicted his opponent would slip to the outside. Misdirection, the magician's real intention was to post off shoulder. Using that as a centrifuge to circle and take the outside foot, look at how far he's positioned outside. For a moment, he actually vanished from his opponent's line of vision. Notice also how he's no longer in southpaw but orthodox. As his confused opponent turns to figure out what just happened, Vasyly's new lead further pulls his opponent's head in as his new loaded backhand smashes the free opening. This is another level. Here, because Vasyl Lomachenko is a right-hand dominant standing in southpaw, his powerful jab has much more of a presence. It is a huge threat. But now, making note of the high guard and the limited vision that comes along with it, notice how Vasyl jabs again, but this time, his opponent felt nothing connecting. His opponent in high guard is confused, and as Vasyl's arm reaches around, he then swings not to the outside of the foot, but literally his lead foot is positioned behind his opponent's. This is extreme. He took a superior angle so far out that his opponent cannot orient himself to fight back, especially as Sosa shells in a confused daze. Again, heats the incoming shot for free. Further shelling up, trying to figure out what just happened, Sosa turns to where the shot came from. Meanwhile, probing guard with his left, Vasyl stimulates Sosa's high guard up as he circles then shifts back to orthodox, which quickly changes his angle. Vasyl is now positioned in the opposite direction Sosa was turning. Sosa again eats another shot for free. As you can see, Vasyl understands your tools, how you defend the immense pressure he places upon you, and then he uses the tools you use against you. Boom. Left hook connection. Then notice how he shifts from a square stance in orthodox again to again secure a superior angle. His opponent doesn't know what to do. His guard was up and it was being used against him. This time, in his frustration, he simply turns his head onto oncoming traffic. Shifting to southpaw, Vasyl winds up and throws a massive feint that reaches around to shoulder. Sosa reacts, and as Vasyl steps back to orthodox, eats another shot for free. Now here, Sosa's footing is actually oriented to strike back, but Vasyl, knowing this, easily he pulls the shot coming. Overall, this is a very elusive, frustrating style. He must feel like a phantom to his opponent. It is a knowledge advantage in the use of angles. Vasyl is using knowledge in superior footwork to consistently attain the superior angle over his opponent. Vasyl has the outside foot. He shells his opponent with a superior line of attack. Boom, lead hook around guard. It's clockwork. Look at how he steps then shifts to orthodox, pivoting power for his new lead, the same way Tyson did for his Diamato step. Again, securing the outside foot at a greater extreme. His opponent tries to fight back, but it does nothing. Punching power, after all, is generated from your feet, but if you don't have the footing to use your feet, there is no punching power. That is the secret of the superior angle. Smashed again, virtually for free. Again, shifts to square stance, then shifts to orthodox, Diamato step, boom! Again, taking the outside foot, transitioning to southpaw. This game is just disorienting. You cannot blame anyone for lacking heart. These men are fighters, they're there to fight. But how can they feel like they're even fighting when they are literally unable to use any of their tools much of the time? Lomachenko's style, his superior knowledge of shifting and angles, just renders much of their kit obsolete. His name, high tech, is quite fitting. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. All armies prefer high ground to low. High ground is not only more salubrious, but more convenient from a military point of view. Low ground is not only damp and unhealthy, but also disadvantageous for fighting. Whether you're playing a game or a general at war, an understanding of positioning has always been an element of good strategy. It's how Genghis Khan would overtake massive armies, thus the world with only a small fleet, feinting his troops in one direction only to swiftly strike on horseback from another. Literally, a sample from 2003 found that 8% of Asian men were related to Genghis because of his brilliant yet monstrous capacity to conquer. It is up above, so below. Understanding a good position from a bad position and knowing how to leverage the better position. It is a game that is often lifted one's physical limitations. After all, Mike Tyson was a smaller heavyweight. TJ was known to have less innate physical talent than Cody. Vasyl Lomachenko was not the fastest or the hardest puncher. Genghis Khan and Sun Tzu, they did not have the largest fleets. These men simply had the knowledge advantage and higher fight IQs to leverage that knowledge. This is a doctrine of the art of war, understanding and seizing the superior position, whether it be branding a box of chocolates even, or climbing the ladder of your own individual path. I hope this knowledge serves you well, for this is a philosophy that serves not just the arena, but life in its entirety. I hope you use it wisely. If you'd like more from me, please subscribe. That's definitely great for the channel. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.
There's nowhere in the world for a man that don't have no footwork to catch me. A lightweight's not this fast.